Everyone, I hope you're doing really well. It's the 12th of September 2024. I'm Gary Waterman. I'm a former UK police constable. I'm a Christian and I'm a victim of this international government fraud that is linked significantly to child trafficking and very sinister, nefarious activities. Now, all of these documents that I'm going to show you, you can look at. I'm going to put them in the public document file and I'm going to talk through and explain them to you now. You can look at them in their entirety within the public document file. So this first document I'm going to show you are screenshots taken of a document showing a letter sent to me by Brady's solicitor at my home address, and it's dated the 29th of August 2024. I'm not going to read all of it to you, but this is the first page of the letter, and you can see the date there in the top left, 29th of August 2024, and I'm just going to read the first bit of it for you, okay? And their client, claiming is Export Manor Freehold Limited, and it says, we are instructed by Property Management Solutions. Okay, it's very important. We're going to come to that in a minute. So they're being instructed, according to this letter, by Property Management Solutions, and it's dated the 29th of August 2024. Reading on, this is on behalf of Export Manor Freehold Limited to recover service charge monies owed to them. Now, this was where, when I was identifying this fraud, and that significant amounts of money appeared to not have been paid. In fact, over £167,000 appeared not to have been paid by others into our company to manage a particular block of flats. And then forged bank documents were required. Whilst I was a director for the company, there were significant inquiries that happened. Directors were resigning all over the place. The management company resigned. I found forged bank documents through the company. I then refused to file our company accounts using those forged bank documents, which was trying to acquire the authentic bank documents. The rest of the organisation, the people within my company, then removed me as a director because of that reason. And of course, this then led on to me identifying illegal entity companies being created by our very own governments around the world, which is a crime in itself, and it's linked to child trafficking, etc. So, because I refused to pay conditionally, okay, so basically what I was saying is there needs to be a safeguarded financial system in place in relation to our company to prevent any exploitation or defrauding of anyone. They refused to do it and instead tried taking legal action against me criminally. Okay, it's completely fraudulent and unlawful. So remember, this is a continuation of this supposed legal system that's not even real. Okay, so they are being instructed by Property Management Solutions, and the date is the 29th of August 2024. So let's have a look at Property Management Solutions. These are the screenshots taken from the company's house registration system. And you can see that Property Management Solutions Limited dissolved on the 13th of August 2024. That's 16 days, I believe, before that letter was written on the 29th of August 2024. Now, this is a legal firm, Brady's solicitors. They would, of course, know that a dissolved company cannot act in any way whatsoever. That includes any legal process. And here we are. They are trying to pursue fraudulently money from me. In fact, not money from me, because they are, but they're threatening to forfeit my property. Okay, to take my property through crime, through fraudulent, deceptive, criminal activity. That's what they're threatening to do with a dissolved company. Okay, this shows how they are panicking. They are seriously worried about this. This is what they're now doing. They're using dissolved companies, and this just shows how important this evidence is, and that literally most of the world's problems are going to be about this, guys. All right, so everyone needs to get behind this evidence. So here we are. They dissolved on their incorporation documents for Property Management Solutions Limited. They have First Corporate Law Services and an address of 16 Churchill Way in Cardiff. Well, that address features throughout the fraud research they've done. And you can see here my previous research and evidence. First Corporate Law Services links to the research of David Cameron, the evidence I've acquired. And you can go and look at the David Cameron document in relation to that. On the right, you can see it links to BCP Council. And again, there's a document that is produced, and you can go and look at that. Now, Brady's solicitors, okay, here's their details at the top here. They are linked via their incorporation documents to a company called Eversheds. Eversheds links closely to police-associated companies. So this is a police-linked fraud, okay, completely criminal by those that should be enforcing and preventing crime. This document shows research in relation to Exmoor Manor Freehold Limited, where I was a director, remember, and it explains why it is an illegal entity. Now, I'm not going to read all of that topic. You can go and look at it if you want to see that written explanation. I'm just going to explain to you here why it's illegal and fraudulent. So these, again, are screenshots taken from the company's house registration system. You can see Exmoor Manor Freehold Limited there. And on its incorporation documents that you'll find in the filing history, you have three companies. First of all, you've got the name of the company, Exmoor Manor Freehold Limited. You've then got further down in the box there, Swift Incorporations Limited. And in the second box that I've highlighted, you have Jordan's Limited. So Swift Incorporations Limited and Jordan's Limited, okay? And the date of that company incorporation is 2007. So let's look at Swift Incorporations Limited. Here they are. Here's their screenshots taken from their company's house registration system record. And you can see they were incorporated on the right there in 1985. And they dissolved, as I was reporting the fraud, in November 2023. So they were panicking and they dissolved the company as I was reporting it to the various authorities. On their incorporation documents, you can see you have a name of Mavis June Latter of an address of 47 Brunswick Place. And on the bottom, you can see Jordan's and Sons. On the bottom of this other page within that document, page 2 of 17 on the incorporation documents, you can see Jordan and Sons Limited. Now those names, and this one, these ones which are further down at page 7 of 17, of the incorporation document, are Michael Richard Council and a Christopher Charles Hadler, particularly Mr. Council and Mavis June Latter, which I've just explained on that other part, are used throughout the fraud, and they are not registered with the companies. They have omitted those names from the register for Exmoor Manor Freehold Limited, even though they claim to be directors, I believe. I believe this, he claims to be a director. Well, this person claims to be a secretary of the company, okay? So they should be listed, and they're featured throughout the fraud. So let's look at Vistra Limited, which had a previous name of Jordan's Limited. Remember, Jordan's Limited was on the Exmoor Manor Freehold Limited incorporation document. And here we are looking at Vistra, and you can see on the right there it was incorporated in 1965, according to the register. And they have previous names on the register here. You can see the first one in the red box there on the left-hand side was Jordan's and Sons Limited, according to this register, created by Companies House from November 1965 until 1996. We can see it then changed its name, according to this, to Jordan's Limited, okay, from 1996 to 2019. So remember, Jordan's Limited was on the incorporation document for Exmoor Manor Freehold Limited, which was incorporated in 2007. So we know this is the right company we're looking at, because it was Jordan's Limited from 1996 to 2019. So that is within those dates. Interesting. I've only recently thought this, 2019, the year of COVID, okay, which is tying in with all of this as well. And I'm noticing a lot of companies are changing their names in 2019 at that event. So anyway, going back to here. So Companies House have put this information in. Remember, they've put Jordan's and Sons Limited from 30th of November 1965 until 1996. However, when you look at the incorporation document in the filing history, it actually has a name, and you can see it says name of company, Hammerplag Limited. Hammerplag Limited. And just to confirm that, looking at another page, page 3 of 15 on the incorporation document, you can see Hammerplag, name of company, Hammerplag Limited. And they've put the date of the 11th of November 1965. So the register has been forged, okay, because they've put the same year, 1965, November. They've omitted that company name and put this company name instead. It's a fraudulent, illegal entity, because the incorporation document, which is the signed document, the most important document on a company starting up, has never been registered. That means it should never have been trading. So here's another document called the corrupt court process, which I'd already put into the public document file. And it's just to really show and explain the court process that happened and evidence in relation to it. It's a legal process. It's not even lawful. So this is just showing the initial stuff that you've just seen as well. And then within that document, you'll see some of the court papers. Initially, I presumed that Export Manor Freehold Limited was a lawful company, so I started corresponding. Of course, once you identify an illegal entity and its fraudulent creation, it shouldn't even be trading. You cannot consent to engage in any way with an illegal entity. It's not even real. It's not even lawful. It's illegal. So it can't act in any way. But within this document, you'll see where I've put emails, some of the court papers, etc., evidence, information where they refuse to identify who the court papers were even being created by on those documents themselves. And remember, these were very important documents that threaten action if something doesn't happen. Who's threatening the action? There's nothing on the document. There's no name, there's no signature, and they refuse to explain why there was no name or signature. So it's completely criminal and fraudulent. So as a result of that latest correspondence from Brady's solicitors, I submitted a further police report because it's fraud, it's aiding and abetting international fraud, which is facilitating child trafficking and much worse. So I've done a police report. These are screenshots taken from the report. I've just redacted some of my details. I've put that I cannot return home due to Dorset Police having shared sensitive information with prime suspects. And then I've basically just put, I am a former Dorset Police constable and have irrefutable evidence of international government fraud linked to apparent child trafficking, abuse, torture and murder. Directors and shareholders of Export Manor Freehold Limited appear to be hugely implicated in this. This is a company where I was a director but was removed by others for refusing to file our accounts using forged bank documents appearing to have been produced by the bank. These people are attempting to pursue legal action regarding my refusal to be defrauded any further through their criminal service charge system until an essential safeguarded system is in place. Export Manor Freehold Limited itself is an illegal entity due to being part of a forged company registration system, meaning they should not be trading as they're not lawfully registered with Companies House. This can be verified easily through Companies House and means they cannot act in any way lawfully, including making any legal application. I've just then gone on and explained the information that I've just shown you in relation to the them using property management solutions. And at the bottom right there, you can see the police reference number that has been created for that report. I've also added a bit, actually, because information now suggests that they are targeting Christians. I'm a Christian, so I now believe this is potentially, and the information is suggesting, a faith hate crime, okay, this fraud, etc. And there's other information to suggest it. So as a result of all of that, I sent this email and those documents, I think I attached all of those documents to the solicitor, okay? This is the first time I've had contact with this person within the company. They keep changing the people's details. Every single time it's a different member of staff. If these are even real names, they may not even be real names they're using, and it's different person. I suspect that is them trying to avoid the accountability for what they are part of, knowingly, I suspect. So this was dated, interesting, the 11th of September at 23:08. And it says, Dear Amna, I'm a former police... in fact, let me just explain. I wasn't going to respond to them at all, but I thought, do you know what? I'm going to send the evidence again. I'm going to make them make sure they are informed that what they are doing is criminal and illegal, and if they continue, it's very serious crime. So I thought, I'm just going to send this again and report them for further harassment. So it says, Dear Amna, I'm a former police constable and have irrefutable evidence that Brady's Solicitors is linked to police organisations and decades-long international government fraud, which appears to be facilitating child trafficking, abuse, torture, and murder. Having returned home after our separation, my wife has found recent correspondence sent by you to what would normally be my home address. Unfortunately, I cannot return home at the moment due to what is being uncovered and the safety implications of doing so, as I have previously informed you. For this reason, I had previously requested that any correspondence from Brady's solicitors is sent by email, and although this was happening, it appears to have stopped since I made allegations of harassment. That was after I found out that Export Manor Freehold Limited was an illegal entity. Reading on. And I suspect this is deliberately to try and avoid accountability. Unfortunately, I also class a letter to my home address as harassment and aiding and abetting international fraud facilitating child trafficking. In your latest correspondence, you claim to be being instructed by Property Management Solutions, acting on behalf of Exmoor Manor Freehold Limited. But Property Management Solutions has dissolved and can no longer trade. Company's House shows that Property Management Solutions Limited dissolved in August 2024, 16 days before you wrote your letter. This means your letter is invalid, and in fact, it's fraud. It's criminal, okay? Because that company doesn't exist, and they're trying to say that they're acting on behalf of it. Also, Exmoor Manor Freehold Limited is an illegal entity company having been created through a fraudulent registration system controlled by Companies House. This means they also cannot lawfully trade. Evidence has already been sent to Brady's solicitor confirming this months ago with no explanation. This effectively means you have no client in this case, and that is able to act legally in any way, and this fraudulent case must cease with immediate effect. Nobody can be expected to engage in any way with an illegal entity that shouldn't even be trading, and you would know this. I have attached a document showing the Companies House registration records for Exmoor Manor Freehold Limited and explaining why it is an illegal entity and cannot act in any way. Being experts on legal matters, you will know that the illegality continues through any incorporation documents, meaning that if any part of the document is illegal, the whole document becomes illegal. Exmoor Manor Freehold Limited is therefore unlawfully registered and cannot lawfully act in any way. I have also attached a document showing your latest correspondence and the Companies House records for Property Management Solutions Limited. The information shown can be verified and corroborated through the Companies House registration system very quickly and easily using my documents as a guide. Brady's solicitor also has a company that is registered illegally and linked significantly to the fraud. You will know that even if Exmoor Manor Freehold Limited was a legal entity, the lease was never signed by me, and you will notice that any court papers have no identifying names or signatures, meaning they are also unlawful. The courts ignored providing any reason for this, and nobody can be expected to attend any court case with no appropriate identity being provided on the forms themselves. I've also attached a document called Corrupt Court Process, showing Companies House records and emails in relation to the corrupt and illegal court process. I have now made a further report to police regarding your latest correspondence, and I put the reference number due to the continuation of this criminality in causing harassment, alarm and distress, and aiding and abetting a criminal international fraud which facilitates child trafficking. Any further correspondence in this regard will be considered as criminal matter, reported accordingly, and any subsequent illegal action regarding my property will be considered as serious criminal conduct. Due to the seriousness of this situation and the fact that it is unquestionably in the public interest, this information and latest reports will be released into the public domain. In conclusion, there cannot be any legal process regarding Exmoor Manor Freehold Limited or Property Management Solutions for these reasons, and I cannot legally consent to being any part of them. Now, guys, you all need to stand up to this criminal organisation. You can see how serious this is. This is a solicitors that is linked through the police system via Eversheds companies, okay, and they are using dissolved companies to try and enforce illegal criminal court processes to victimize individuals. It's completely criminal. Everyone needs to stand up to this by complete financial non-compliance in every way possible, particularly the taxation system, so that we can compel an easily safeguarded financial system to prevent the world going into a very, very dark place very soon. And obviously, I do believe they are seriously considering murdering billions of people very, very soon, particularly now expediting their plans because of the full exposure of all of this evidence. Okay, so they're rushing to fulfill their plans and get things done quicker. There's a lot of signs of this. It looks as though they're rushing to put up the 5G systems, directed energy threats towards us all. They're rushing now to instill a fully digital currency system. Report the last few days suggests that many supermarkets now are fully digital and you cannot pay with cash. We are in dangerous times, guys. Everyone needs to stand up to this as soon as possible. God bless you all.